So now that you have gone through yesterday, we're ready to jump into more effective strategies. And if you are not wanting to do that, if that's feeling like a big ask, that's okay. But if you are ready to make change, you're ready to take responsibility and say, yes, I want to have more calm confidence, then I am here for you. And we're going to give you a super powerful tool. We're diving into our workbook, page 2. And if you don't have your workbook yet, please comment below workbook. And I know that our wonderful mama mentor, Leah, will be happy to get that to you in the comments below. So here's what we have to get us started. The secret to less anger, friends, is to consider a dramatically different perspective. On your handout, it says the key that unlocks less anger is not more patience. Friends, I can almost guarantee that you have probably said, I just think I need to be more patient. That way I won't yell at them. I just need to be more patient. And if that was going to work, it would have already worked, right? Like, you're a smart person. You're a powerful mama. You do millions of things each day. If that was going to work, it would have worked. And I know moms who have been saying that to themselves for weeks or months or maybe even years, who, when they stepped into the strategies that I'm going to offer you today, went from feeling like it was never going to be the case that they were a calm, confident mom to quickly finding relief, quickly enjoying the child again, quickly noticing themselves just being more calm. Like Kaylee said, one of our mamas who's been in this group, she said, I didn't realize, but I kept praying for patience. I'm one of those people, like the meme, like, God, give me more patience, not more opportunities for patience. Got that. I'm good. But please give me the patience. And she said, when I did what you're talking about, Flora, I just was patient. I just was calm. I had no idea it could be that simple and effective. So friends, it isn't about being more patient. What is it about? It is about being more powerful. It's about being more powerful. Now, I am not talking about being a dictator and ruling over our children with an iron fist. Many of you are here because your heart is drawn to gentle parenting. Your heart desires to be a calm, gentle parent. And I do too. That's one of my foundational principles and goals in parenting. I want to be validating. I want to be supportive. And I want you to know how to do that and be effective. To be powerful means to be the leader. Like one of my clients, Emily, said, I found myself moving from dictator to teacher, and I felt so much more powerful. Like Christy said, I stopped feeling like a victim to my child's behavior, and I started feeling like her guide. And I felt so much more powerful. And Jessica, who said, I finally felt like I was in control and not sort of held hostage by this tiny tyrant in my life. And that helps me to be more calm. See, friends, a lot of people wonder how to be more calm and kind. And between kindness and firmness, they notice that their kindness is lacking by losing their temper, by being frustrated with their kids, by just nagging, repeating, blowing up. And so they think they need more kindness, but that's actually just diving deeper into the offset that is out of balance. Between kindness and firmness, when you're losing your kindness, you are likely there because you've been lacking some firmness. Having a powerful plan helps you to have that kindness and firmness at the same time. Is this resonating? Are you having an aha? Put an emoji below if you're feeling connected to this message. You're feeling like, oh my gosh, holy smokes, that is so right on. Hmm. Seeing folks resonating here. And so, friends, this is an opportunity to be able to step into kind and firm at the same time. So, your handout says it's not about more patience, it's about having tools to be powerful. And how do we do that? We have a powerful plan. Friends, I want you to start having a powerful plan. How do you do that? What are you talking about, Flora? Hold on. And you may be saying, okay, you're asking me to do one thing. Like now I have to have all these like plans. Here I am. I'm just trying to get through the day. Maybe you have 5 kids. Maybe you have 3 kids. Maybe you have really tiny kids. Maybe you have older kids that are really pushing you a lot. You're like, I'm just trying to get through the day, Flora. Don't give me something else to do. But hold on. The truth of the matter is, you get the same number of hours every single day. And I have to stop you right here and say, you get to choose how you use them. Many of you shared yesterday that you've been spending 10, 20, someone said hundreds of hours each week on the struggles of ineffective strategies. So the time is there, you're spending it. The question is, do you want to keep spending it that way, putting out the fires? Or are you ready to start spending it preventing the fires by having a powerful plan? Put the word down. Do you want to be putting out the fire? Or do you want to be preventing it? Yeah. And that's the difference. It's simply shifting into, okay, I'm going to make a plan and I'm going to get tools of how exactly we do that in sustainable parenting. We do it in a way that is repeatable so that you can master it. It is simple and succinct, and it's able to be catered to each individual child, especially when you work with me in mentorship, because then I can very specifically give you the nuances of how we cater this to your child. And I help you to trust your gut and know how to do your own catering of fitting these principles to your family as well. So what's been missing likely is that powerful plan. And when I made these changes with Caleb, it made all the difference in the world. Remember the story yesterday about just struggling in the swim lessons? And I told you that when I made the changes, within 30 seconds, he stopped crying. He enjoyed his lessons. He actually learned some swim skills. And I was able to be having some time to myself, feeling so much better about how I handled the situation and having zero regret for saying a bunch of stuff that I felt bad about later. So there's a tripod picture in your handout. And the essence of what we do in sustainable parenting, just to give you kind of a bird's eye view, let's get way up in the helicopter and look at the whole system, is that we give you the CEO plan, which involves aspects of connection, relationship, attunement, that's the C, connection, aspects of how to encourage cooperation, which I'm going to give you a very key tool, one of the essential 10 tools from our program I'm giving to you today, and then ownership. And there are key strategies of how we give ownership. When we stand on that 3-legged tripod, we can repeat it time and again. We can understand it and hold it in our mind. We don't get lost and confused and pinballing. We know what to start first. We know what to do second. We know what to do third. That has a lasting impact on changing their behavior. So the key strategy I want to give you today, friends, is I told you we are not going to negotiate with terrorists. Remember, I said that yesterday? So, in order to move forward in the tools I'm going to give you right now, you have to first agree with me that you are not going to negotiate with a terrorist. Let's stop spending time in ways that waste our energy because think about it. Remember, like I said yesterday, their brains, when they are not listening, resistant, defiant, emotional, it's like they flip their lid. And any sort of logic and reasoning that we're giving to them in that moment isn't effective because their brain isn't there. And guess what? Your brain is not the most effective in that moment either. Do you ever find yourself like, I'm trying to grab with what might be a consequence or a way to motivate them? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just taking away your birthday party, or you're going to lose technology for a month. And then you go back on it later because in the heat of the moment, you weren't able to think that well. Is this resonating? And so why stop beating yourself up? Don't feel shameful about that. That's not that you aren't a smart or wise mom. It's that our brains don't think well in that moment. When we feel flooded with emotion of their resistance, we get frustrated and our brain is not in a problem solving place. It's also in an emotional or maybe flipped lid kind of state. So I want you to let go of negotiating with terrorists. We got to stop. Let's make a pact. Put the word down, agree. If you agree that you will not negotiate with a terrorist, that when your child is yelling, screaming, emotional, defiant, we are not going to negotiate. We are not going to try in that moment to come up with our consequences. Instead, we are going to be the wise mamas who know what's going on for our child is that they desire a sense of power. It's their job to be testing rules and boundaries to see how they get power in this world. It is their job to test rules and boundaries to see how they get power in this world. They're little scientists. They're testing. They're seeing what the outcome is so that they'll do that thing again. And then secondly, they're lagging a lot of skills. They just landed on this planet 2 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe even 9 years ago. That's a very little time to fully understand their emotions, how to solve a problem, how to get their needs met, what they're allowed to do. So knowing those things, we are going to use this principle I want to give you today to be super effective in a quick way so that we're spending our energy on prevention, not putting out the fire. Your handout says make a agreement in advance. Put that in your handout. Make an agreement in advance tied to a when then. Let me tell you what that looks like, friends. So when you think about, I want to give you tools for challenges, power struggles, negotiation battles you've likely been having with technology, getting out the door, and bedtime. Anyone here had an issue with any one of those? Technology, getting out the door, or bedtime? Yeah. So let's talk about how to be more effective with each one of those using the principle, making an agreement in advance tied to a when then. So with technology, so many families and parents tell me, I'm frustrated that he won't turn off the TV. I'm frustrated that he won't give me my phone back when I've said, okay, you're done. And I say, okay, well, what's your agreement about technology? Crickets. So that's kind of like if you were to go to work and your boss some days pays you $1,000 a day and some days pays you $100 a day. And there's been no agreement in advance about what leads to having that money or that it's going to be given in a certain way at a certain time. So when we make an agreement in advance, it's the wise understanding that we know our child's desiring power and they're just desiring predictability. And so we can say with tech time, okay, here's the deal. You can have 2 cartoons every morning. And when bedtime has gone great, then we get those cartoons. Or you can say, you can have access to watch this show. And when you turn the show off nicely, then you get that show again tomorrow. When you don't, then we will have a day without a show tomorrow. And you follow through. You make that agreement in advance. Okay, I'm turning the show, and I just want you to remember when you do a great job when it's time to close it up, then you get to have that show again tomorrow. When you don't, we won't have it tomorrow. And you follow through. 50% of the time, they will just do a better job on closing it because they've had that agreement in advance. I've had people tell me this time and time again as I work with them as clients. The second example is bedtime. I have a simple strategy that so many families have seen super effective quickly, which is 4 checks. Make an agreement in advance instead of saying, just go to bed, do a good job. That's an empty plan, not a powerful plan. You say, my powerful plan is that I am going to, tuck you in, get you all in your jammies, put you into bed, rub your back, and then I'm going to come check on you 4 times. And maybe even you have a piece of paper on the wall that explains that just has four boxes. So when I come back and I see you, then I will, or sorry, when you stay in your bed, then I will come back and give you one more little rub on the back. And you do that after 30 seconds the first time, after 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes. So each time it gets a little longer. You're giving positive feedback to the positive behavior instead of giving positive energy to negative behavior by them coming out and getting attention from you. That's a powerful plan instead of an empty plan. Empty plans are, please just turn off the technology. Please just stay in bed. Powerful plans are having an agreement in advance tied to a when then. So in the bedtime example, you can say, when you've stayed in bed, you get your all 4 checks. If you get out of bed, you lose one of the checks. So I'm only going to check back on you 2 times instead of 3 times. They want your attention, so they want to stay in bed to get it. And maybe even add an additional, and when you've stayed for all 4 checks, you get a morning cartoon. That's a powerful plan instead of an empty plan. And the third example is out the door. People will say, I just come on, get it going. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I say, make an agreement. There are a couple ways you can do this. One is, I got this wonderful idea from Sarah Pollinchek, a parenting mentor I worked with in Missoula 12 years ago when I started this work. And it was, okay, buddy, when it's time for shoes on, coat on, out the door, it's our final call, anything that gets touched is going to be put away for 2 days. So it's an agreement in advance. When then? When you just quick and snappy get out the door, you still have all those toys to play with. When anything else gets distracting you and you touch it, that's going to go away for 2 days. Another thing I've seen parents do is have a positive end to it, which is, hey, when you have finished, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, having your breakfast, after each time, I want you to come over and give me a high five. So that's a when you've done it, come give me a high five. And if all those things are done and we have time left on the clock, you can play for a while. Or it could be, if there's time left on the clock, you can bring something in the car with you. Depending on your kid's age, it could be they bring a toy with them, a special snack with them. I knew one dad who did a really creative thing, when there was time and you got all your things done, so we're out the door on time, then you get to tell me how to get to school. And they would play this silly game where it's should I go left or right? And there was some leeway where he could kind of zigzag and let them determine a little, and he would, make the option. So they got some sense of control, but they also got to school. There are wonderful, powerful ways that you can encourage cooperation. And in each one of those situations, they feel like they have more power and control, and you are more likely to see cooperation. And when we see cooperation with our powerful plans, we don't get so angry. Think about that. When you feel in control, it's more likely that you feel confident, that you feel at ease. And certainly, if you watch that it gets you cooperation, you're like, yes, I feel amazing. I feel like super mom. Like a client yesterday told me, oh man, when I watched my daughter move from so upset to just melting into calm in that 30-second tool you gave me, Flora, there's nothing better. I felt like super mom. I did that. I finally, instead of just being overwhelmed and flooded and frustrated with the chaos, when I knew what to do, I felt so calm and so confident. So, your homework is to choose one thing today, one area you've been struggling in, and make a powerful plan. Not an empty plan that's like, hey guys, you just need to do this better, but a powerful plan where you make an agreement in advance tied to a when then. And if you're struggling at all and you're not sure, put your situation down below and I will comment with a response of an idea of what that could look like to have an agreement in advance on that topic tied to a when then. When you put your comment below, Leah, the Mama Mentor with Sustainable Parenting, or myself will send you a bonus. And then do not miss joining us tomorrow because we're going to be talking about the one question, the best question to end your daily battles. If you plan to be there, give me a thumbs up, give me a high five emoji, and we will be seeing you very soon. Bye, guys.